with Lisa Salters to talk about that and also his relationship with Donovan Mitchell. Take a listen.
My positive test was kind of the domino that made, Adam Silver and then all the other sports league to kind of shut down. I mean, European football leagues already shut down a few days before that, but in America, in North America, like that was the first, domino to fall, and I think a lot of guys, probably had it before, but I was the first to test positive, and I think that was a good start. That was a good sign. That was the red light for the NBA to say that we gotta stop this. We can prevent many lives from being affected from this.
How are things with you and Donovan?
With me and Donovan, I think we both focus on winning, and that's the number one thing. We like I said millions of times. You guys are gonna keep asking me, but it's never like relationships are never perfect. Whether it's with your wife, with your friends. The most important thing is to be honest with one another, and and when it happens, is to have each other's back, and it happens, and now we have to lift each other up and try to not just do it for ourselves, but do it for the team and like I said, for our communities and for all the people that are watching us and supporting us.
Well, winning is the priority. Kendrick Perkins in the house now. Max, I want to start with you. What's your reaction to Gobert's comments?
I think when Gobert did what he did, he sunk the Jazz for this season. I thought they had an outside chance because and Bogdanovich having the wrist surgery too, he's not available. I think they would have to have everything come together just right. Conley would have to step up his game and be like he was last season. And throughout most of his career, he's had a hard time acclimating himself in Utah so far. And if Conley got it right and Bogdanovich was available and Gobert and Donovan Mitchell were on the same page and they had just the right chemistry in a weird season like this, you couldn't count them out. But without Bogdanovich, with Conley, hasn't been playing the way he's played throughout his career so far for these guys. And now with this obvious fracture in the relationship between Mitchell and Gobert, Gobert infected the whole team with COVID when people were giving serious warnings, and all the reporters there too. Now, he didn't do it maliciously. He was doing it as a joke, but that's the problem. He wasn't taking it seriously. And I know Donovan Mitchell is a serious young man. You talk to anyone who's coached Donovan Mitchell on his way up, they love this kid. I mean, they love him. And so if there's an issue and Gobert shows this kind of thing, it tells me maybe part of that issue is Donovan Mitchell doesn't think he's taking things seriously enough. And maybe that also shows up in his offense. Gobert is a defensive nightmare, and he can do some things offensively, but he plays defense with the same kind of passion that the stars play offense. But he doesn't play offense that way.
Well, first of all, let me address the COVID situation, right? In my opinion, when Rudy Gobert did what he did for us in that interview, in my eyes, Max, no one took it seriously, not even myself, because when he did what he did with touching the microphones and rubbing the table, the immature act that he did, even the reporters were laughing and he-heing and ha-haing. So at that point in time, I don't think no one took it seriously. And then all of a sudden,
a lot of people
the
took it
NBA
seriously.
stops, right? Yeah, but not
a
like
lot of
they
people
did
took it seriously.
After the NBA stopped. When, Max. Once the NBA stopped, the world stopped. So that's when it was like, hold on, this is very serious. I was so mad at Rudy Gobert. I called him everything under the sun for having that immature act. Now, with that being said, he's apologized several times. He's donated over $500,000 to the Jazz organization to help pay the people that work in the arenas and around there. He can't take it back, right? Donovan Mitchell was upset with him. Okay, cool. He apologized. He keep apologizing. Why do we have to keep answering this question? I don't know, right? So now we get to the basketball and the relationship part of it with him and Donovan Mitchell. To me, where there's smoke, there's fire. And that's a problem for the Utah Jazz because when you have two of your franchise guys that are not on the same page, that's a problem. And yes, you could. I said it before. Well, as long as they show up to and get once they hit on the court, they're able to compete and have each other back. But it don't work like that with a lot of young guys. You talking about a guy and Rudy Gobert, who's the Defensive Player of the Year. You talking about Donovan Mitchell and Rudy, who are both first-time All-Stars that have a lot of pride. And then what happens is this, Max and Charlie, they have separation within the team. So then they form these cliques. You have Rudy Gobert. He have a certain amount of guys that may roll with him outside of the court. Then you have Donovan Mitchell that have certain guys that are going to roll with him to dinner or et cetera, or hang out with him. And then it translates to on the court because now, say they run a high pick and roll and Rudy Gobert got a small guard seal, Donovan Mitchell don't hit him and he shoot a step back because he feel like he got the mismatch and he take a bad shot. And then all of a sudden, Quinn Snyder called a timeout. Now Rudy Gobert, they going to the bench, and you got these side eyes and guys looking at each other and saying, look at him, look what he done. Rudy Gobert, he don't get the ball offensively as a big. When you have a deep seal and you don't get it, that translates to your defensive effort. So now a guy goes to the rim, Rudy Gobert don't protect the paint, and all of a sudden you getting a side eye from Donovan Mitchell and his clique saying, look at him. He's so worried about offense that he's pouting. But at the end of the day, this is the reason why veteran guys like Jared Dudley, Jamal Crawford, etc., are so important in these locker rooms. And if I'm Quinn Snyder, I would have a come to Jesus meeting with both of these guys and sit these guys down and say, you know what, let's hash it out. Let's see what we can do, because if they don't get it together, the Jazz are going to be forced to choose between the two. Are you going to take Rudy Gobert, your Defensive Player of the Year center, or are you going to take Donovan Mitchell? Because both of these guys are coming up for a big payday. Are you going to take Donovan Mitchell?
Look.
Right. Are you going to take Donovan Mitchell, who's a guy who's got better every single year, and it's a guard-driven league? Go ahead, Max. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Perk, couple things. Mike Conley should be that veteran presence on this team. And the reason I bring up the COVID thing is not like, yeah, he's apologized for it. He can't take it back. He's donated his own money, which is, I know, all these guys make so much money. I don't want to hear about that. $500,000 out of someone's pocket is a lot of money. I'm not saying he hasn't tried to make amends, but it's not like we can never bring that up again. If we're marshaling that evidence to make a point, we're trying to guess about what may be going on based on their past behavior. I suspect that Donovan Mitchell doesn't think Rudy Gobert is always serious enough for his taste. That's why I would keep Donovan Mitchell. And by the way, in terms of Gobert not getting the ball on offense, he's been in the league 7 seasons. He's 27 years old. He's averaging under 12 points a game for his career. He has never thought much about offense. And usually I know it's the other way around. We think of like the lazy player as the dude who he wants his points, he wants to eat, but he doesn't want to play defense. Gobert's the opposite. He'll play defense, but sometimes I feel like he's not putting in the effort on the offensive end. I suspect Donovan Mitchell, if I were Donovan Mitchell, I might feel that way. So I'm looking, in other words, I'm looking at the situation. Yes, Donovan's the dude who maybe shoots too much at times. Yes, he's the younger guy, all those things. Yes, Gobert is the defensive monster and all that stuff. But I suspect insofar as they have issues, it's actually Gobert's immaturity and not Donovan Mitchell's.
No, that's not true, because, Max, let me tell you something about a big man, right? A big man that you want to anchor your defense and do everything defensively, what you do is that you have to stroke his ego.